When you add an ActiveX control, like we did in the previous lesson, adding our control for our calendar, of course it comes with certain default properties, but you can customize those, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, customizing the ActiveX control properties. So with it selected here on our page, we're continuing with our How to Use LDC Controls project. Let's just preview that again, Control W. So you'll see certain defaults like the size, the position. It has a title here, July 2011, but it also has drop-down buttons for selecting dates and years. So it's kind of redundant to have it here twice. Maybe that's one of the properties we might want to change. So all of these properties, if we close up this preview, are accessed by double-clicking the control. Now you'll see the ActiveX Control Properties dialog, and ActiveX Control tab is selected. Down below, by default, there are no properties yet, but we can add our own by clicking the Add button. Click the drop down to choose a name, and you can see there's a number of presets here. For example, that title showing the month and the year, maybe we don't need it. So where it says Show Title, we can select that, and for the value, type in false. Simple programming. We'll click OK. Click OK again, and let's preview that, Control W. Notice it's gone, but we do have our drop-down buttons displaying the month and the year. So that works nicely. Let's close this up and go back by double-clicking our ActiveX control. And down below, you'll see some fields for code source, data source, and ID. Now, those only are important if, for example, you need to provide an address or a URL for the latest copy of an ActiveX control that you have downloaded. Now, that's if it's not on the local system. Ours is, so we don't need to worry about the code source. Data source is where you provide an address or a URL, specifying where the control is going to search to find any of its data arguments. And an ID down below displays the ID of the ActiveX control if it includes an ID and ours does not. So that's why those are blank, and that's fine. Our control still works. We go to margins now, where we can adjust how close content comes to the outside of our control. So the preview here with 0 pixels shows that content's going to come right up against our calendar. So we can adjust all sides at once or individually, left, right, top, and bottom. Let's do them all so it's even here. Let's bump it up to about 10 pixels. There we go. And you can see a preview of the extra space that's being added around the outside of our control. We'll click Apply and go on to Borders. Here we can actually create a nice little border around the outside of our control so it kind of stands alone on the page. We could use a solid border, double. I kind of like these inset and outset options that make it three-dimensional. With outset, it's going to look like it's coming off the page a little bit. So let's choose that one with the automatic color and width set at 4 pixels, and we'll click Apply. And then if you wanted to, you could adjust the size. If you're not perfectly happy with the size, you could change the width or the height, maintaining aspect ratio. Or you could choose not to maintain aspect ratio and type in a preferred height and width. Let's go to the width field here and type in 500. And for the height, let's just do 300 and click OK. And you can see the control button itself, the placeholder, has changed in size, and that's going to be the size of our calendar control when we preview it. Control W is a shortcut for that. Opens it up in its own little window here where you can see the changes that have been made. I like that border around the outside. I like that the title's gone. We don't need it here twice. And that's a good size as well. So we'll close that up. And that's how you edit or customize the properties of your ActiveX control.